Hi there, this video is intended for Culinary 170 to help students kind of figure out the basics of costing out a recipe. There's a lot going on when you cost out a recipe, and so I just want to go over some kind of key initial ideas, and then we'll have some other videos talking about other aspects. So what I have for you here is a recipe for spiced pecans and brown rice, and I just got this recipe out of the On Cooking textbook. So if you want to look at it, it's pretty easy to find it. You just go on the index and look it up. It makes 10 portions right here, and here are all our ingredients there. Now, keep in mind when we're costing out a recipe, we're not concerned so much about the process per se. I don't need to know what exactly do I do with the butter, the cayenne, the salt, and the pepper, but I need to know those specific ingredients because I'm trying to figure out how much does each of those ingredients cost us. So I wanted to walk you through just what's kind of going on in this process. Hopefully, we'll be able to get ourselves so that we're at this point right here where we can find the cost per portion. And ultimately, not necessarily in this video or in this section of the course, we're going to talk about what does it mean to have a 30% or 25% or 28 or 32% food cost and ultimately get our selling price to put on the menu. But that's not really our goal today. Our goal is just to figure out how much do these ingredients cost us. So let's start with something real straightforward, whole butter. This recipe calls for 4.5 fluid ounces of whole butter. So what we need to do is first find out, well, how much does whole butter cost us? This is something that you would get from whether or not you're going to a grocery store to get your ingredients or you're getting from a distributor like Cisco or PFG or Cavalier Foods or whatnot, whatever. So you'd have to look this one up. And it really depends on what your current distributor actually is to decide what the price is. So for purposes of this course, I'm just going to get a price from anywhere because this isn't necessarily for a restaurant per se, it's just for our practice. So I've got a price here for unsalted butter as being $50.75. So $50.75 for a 30-pound case. So this is what we call the APC bulk price, and that's why I'm putting it right here in this part of the costing form. It is literally how I purchased the butter. Now, if it had been like two 15-pound cases of butter instead for $50.75, I would still put 30 pounds because obviously I don't have enough room to squeeze in two 15-pound cases. So you just put down whatever the total weight is that you're buying. And then from that, I need to figure out not necessarily what a bulk price is, because that's not very helpful. I want to know instead, what is a unit price for that amount? So if you think about it, well, what I need to know is how much is it maybe per pound or maybe per ounce? It really depends on what you're more interested in. But in this situation, since my butter is for 4.5 fluid ounces, I'm going to probably get this down to a price per ounce. So what I'll end up doing here is I'll end up, see if I can get it for you here, I'll end up taking, I'm just going to write over here to the side and we'll just erase it when we're done, the 50.75, and I'm going to divide it by the 30 pounds. Now the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to know what is the price per pound first, and that's exactly what this is going to give me, dollars per pound. That per means division. So when I do this division, I end up getting that it's $1.69166666666, etc., 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 per pound. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut it off at the fourth place because I don't need all those extra decimals, and I'm just going to say that it's $1.69117. Round that up since there's a 6 afterwards. And that's per pound. Now, since my ingredient is in fluid ounces, I'm going to probably go ahead and take that down to ounces because that's a little bit closer to fluid ounces. So the next step is going to be to take this $1.6917 and divide it by 16. Why 16? Because there's 16 ounces per pound. So when I do this second division here, 1.6917 divided by 16, I'm going to get a little over 10 cents, 0.1057 29166. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off at the fourth place and say $0.1057 per ounce. And this is my unit price. So I'm going to put that right here. So that the butter that cost me $50.75 per 30 pounds is actually only going to cost me a little over 10 cents per ounce. Because that's what I really want it to be. Ultimately, I want to be able to just take the amount of butter and multiply it by the price for that butter. So if I have a unit mismatch, I have to get it so that it's actually in a workable state. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this real fast, get rid of this mess for us. There we go. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And so now I got to think about, all right, I've got fluid ounces here for the butter, and I've got just regular old ounces for the butter's cost. Normally, for most of your ingredients, this is a unit mismatch. A fluid ounce is not necessarily the same as an ounce, unless it's water or it flows like water, like juice with no pulp, vinegar, liquor, or whatnot. Except for butter. Butter is the one exception. It's really one of the few solids that a cup of butter is 8 ounces. It's also 8 fluid ounces. So here, I can say that 4.5 fluid ounces of butter is 4.5 weighted ounces of butter. And that's the whole idea of the revised quantity, is trying to find out, do my units here in the APC unit match my units from the recipe? If they do, all I really have to do is just bring the answer back, the number back over, so 4.5 ounces. If they don't match up, I need to do some sort of conversion work like we did back in Module 2. But this is okay. This next section here, the quantity to purchase, is more something that we're going to talk about in Module 5. Suffice to say that it has to deal with the fabrication or the yield percentage of the ingredient. Now butter, it's not clarified, so it has a 100% yield. So all I need to really do is put 100% there, and if it's 100% yield and I need 4.5 ounces, that means I have to go and I have to buy 4.5 ounces of butter. And so to get the total item cost, I'm simply going to take what I need to buy, the APQ, as purchased quantity, and multiply it by the APC. What is the cost of that? Notice this is in ounces here at the APQ. This is in ounces here at the APC. So all I'm going to do is take the 0.1057 and multiply it by the 4.5 ounces, and I end up with 0.47 565, so 54757. Or if you want, I can change that and simply make it be 0.48 cents. Either one is acceptable. If it's money, you just go ahead and round it up after the hundreds place and you're good to go. And that's how you cost out the whole butter. Now, a lot of times students are ask me about this APQ, this as purchased quantities. Like, who in the world is going out and just buying 4.5 ounces of butter? That's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. The grocery store won't let you do that. So what I want you to think about is, say in your storeroom, you've got this big case of butter in the back. So here you go. Here's your butter. Here's the Land O'Lakes lady right there. There you go. She's sitting there. She's got the little I think she has like a rainbow over or something. There you go. There's your butter. And that butter cost you the $50.75 to bring into the store, bring into the restaurant. So what's happening here is for this recipe, you're pulling out 4.5 ounces. And that 4.5 ounces cost you this 48 cents. What this 48 cents is doing is it's recouping this expenditure that you already made. You already spent $50.75 on the butter. So when we're going through the costing of a recipe, we're actually trying to get that money back. So we're not literally going out and buying 48 cents worth of butter. We're actually trying to justify that original expense of butter by getting it back. So hopefully that makes a little bit sense. I'm going to have another video just further down the page that'll help kind of explain some of the other ingredients for you. Thanks for watching.